Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Summit 3, presented by Gigabyte, continues on today. We're getting to the end of Phase 2 of Europe, and boy, are things heating up. More elimination today, well, at least in one of our series. We've got NiP versus Cloud9 in the lower bracket. Somebody's going home, Parker.
Oh, yeah. These teams survived yesterday, knocking out Na'Vi and Alliance. So
El Clasico is eliminated.
it's now going to become the El Clasico of the redemption vote. They're going to go head-to-head in that redemption vote. Look, man, El Clasico never dies.
It's true. It's true. It's actually going to be a really interesting redemption vote. If Cloud9 gets eliminated here, it's going to be an insane redemption vote. They won it last time.
It was neck and neck, though, with Na'Vi.
It was. I
don't know the exact vote counts, but
it seemed like last time teams didn't take it that seriously. They're
apart from Cloud9.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And they
Cloud9
pulled ahead right at the last minute.
They proved that there is power in campaigning. Doing ridiculous memes, having fun on social media, streaming. There's a lot of fun stuff that can be done.
I think Alliance were number 3 after those two teams last time. Not that close, but they still had a decent number of votes. So considering how Alliance been playing lately, and how kind of Na'Vi been playing lately, I give Alliance a better shot this time around. So
that's true enough. So, all right, NiP versus Cloud9. Let's just hop right into this draft here and see what's going on as we do our pleasantries this morning. Starting a little bit earlier than usual. These teams trying to get in and get out, I guess. Other tournaments going on, but who are the favorites here? I think hard to argue with Cloud9 being favorites coming into this one, but sort of surprising to see both these teams knocked into the lower bracket perhaps so early on. I think a lot of people were expecting NiP to beat ASUS.Polar for that slot in the winner bracket finals, which will be coming up right after this today. That is a best of 5, and that is Secret versus ASUS.Polar. So we'll have that to look forward to after this is done.
Cloud9 were knocked down by NiP from that winner bracket. That was kind of when Cloud9 had a shaky couple of days. They lost to NiP. They lost to another kind of even lesser known team. But since then, as you kind of said, they've bounced back. They're now favorites. They're kind of in much better form, having beat Alliance yesterday. They kind of crushed Alliance. One of the games was fairly close, but the other game was very one-sided. So, big thing here, though, we haven't got a Bone 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he is. The team showed up, and they said, well, Bone's usually on time. Really not sure where he is. We're a little worried. We'll find a stand-in immediately. Envy puts out the EE Sama signal, and Bulldog comes a running, Dongarino in hand. He's ready to play some Dota. So he says, put me in, coach, and the mastermind decides to do it.
They played together before, back on the old school Kaipi or whatever. They were original teammates. This was kind of Bulldog's first competitive team that he played on was with Envy. He stood in for Na'Vi, but his first full-time team, it was Envy. He was playing with. So they reunited.
It all comes full circle, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see how he fares. A great offlaner. So I think. At least on a similar level to Bone 7, maybe a little out of practice in terms of the competitive scene, but he's been streaming a lot. He's been keeping up. I'm sure those fingers are fresh, ready to rock and roll. It is prime time in Europe after all. So anyway, let's look at this draft, see what these teams are working on. NiP, they start off with the Ogre and Sniper. Cloud9, they'll stick to what they've been doing. Phoenix, Skywrath, Mage. Early on, we've seen this team prioritize Phoenix a lot recently. I'm more intrigued by this Ogre pick from NiP coming out so early. Usually they run him almost exclusively with that Alina Troll machine gun kind of style, and obviously Troll's banned out here, so that won't be an option.
Well, I mean, the Sniper benefits from attack speed as much as anyone does, so pretty good option there. Not so much interesting, but the important thing to note for me with the NiP was the first two bans, Night Stalker and Zeus. These have been the two go-to Cloud9 heroes. They fit their playstyle so well with the vision you get from the Zeus ultimate, which Fata will spam out. Cloud9 been playing towards a late game, and Zeus is actually a late game hero. This hero does not end games in 30 minutes. He has a lot of burst damage. He's magic-based, but the way Zeus plays, he's all with his passive. He doesn't fall off in the late game at all. He just kind of tanks up. He gets lots of farm, and he just fights around the BKBs. So a hero that suits Cloud9 really well, and kind of smart bans from NiP, or at least very targeted bans.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And Wisp Troll from Cloud9. Nothing you can argue with there. Two heroes that we know very well. Now Cloud9 continuing to keep things interesting here. Enigma, their third pick, and, well, rather greedy choice, and one we do not see too often at all. I feel like Enigma's really that niche pick these days when you really want something greedy, really need that big team fight, get some pushing power. This is exciting to see him picked up this early. Now NiP strike back with a Bristleback, maybe a little more conventional.
Pretty good against, Enigma ever tries to push, Bristle can just run in, spam a few quills, and down go your Eidolons, but probably going to see Big Daddy No-Tail on the jungle Enigma, but those heroes it's interesting to see Chen not prioritized or really taken by either team. NiP don't run much Chen, but Cloud9 at least have in the past. And No-Tail can play the hero fairly decently.
Fairly decently,
I mean, it's more he wasn't like known for it as much as like when he played on Secret, it was always Puppy on the Chen. So it wasn't like his hero. He can play it very well, but it's not like a hero, like one of his signature picks.
No, that's a fair point. It's not like the No-Tail Wisp that everyone kind of knows and uses. Yeah, it's a little different.
Oh, this is a Cloud9 hero they love. The Vata Beastmaster, likely to be going mid.
Yeah. Offlane Phoenix, Beastmaster in the mid, and per usual, Envy will save his hero for last. And again, folks, this is not a April Fool's Day joke, by the way. I know it's April Fool's, and it seems ridiculous that Bone7's not here, and Bulldog is in, but at least to our knowledge, maybe this is Cloud9's way of really getting some humor in there, but this is pretty authentic as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the tweet from Envy maybe looks a bit clowny, but he was in the lobby saying, Bone7 is never late. We're actually we're worried. Yeah.
If it's an April Fool's Day joke, we're all victims together here, and it sort of goes against the nature of the integrity of who's tagged up. So I'm hoping this is a genuine. Are you friends with Bulldog? Maybe you can check. I'm not friends with him, so I don't know if that's the. I cannot confirm or deny, but I saw the April Fool's Day spam, and it occurred to me that this does seem actually like a really lame April Fool's Day joke.
It's not a very good April Fool's Day joke because they got level 2 time penalty for being late.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like...
And it's an elimination game. I mean, it's a pretty... Yeah.
Especially for Cloud9. Like, they did decently at DAC, but I still feel like they need to do a bit more to prove themselves worthy of a TI invite. They're currently in the lower bracket of the Summit 3, the lower bracket of ESL 1.
It's true.
They haven't qualified for either the Summit or for ESL 1 here. They're not playing MLG. If they don't make it to the Summit or ESL 1, like, if you're Valve, I'm thinking, like, do we actually give these guys a TI invite? The only tournament they played with this new roster is DAC, where, yeah, they did well, but everything else has been very lackluster from them. So I don't know if Cloud9 would get a TI invite if they don't qualify for the Summit or ESL 1. So... these teams, I mean, Envy's always a pretty serious guy when he was talking about Dota 2, so these teams Cloud9 need to make it to one of these events, and they're going to be taking, they're online qualifiers, but they're taking this as seriously as big LAN matches right now.
All right, so now that we've covered that, we'll talk about these final bans a little bit. PL and Axe taken out. We did see Envy play PL yesterday, and there she is, the Spectre. This is the first time in 10 or 15 games or so we've seen Envy play Spectre, but mostly because it's been pretty commonly fifth banned, maybe at least 30% of the time or so. So obviously a hero he knows well and a big global presence here. You got that Hawk to scout things out. You've got your Spectre to haunt in there, and interesting draft from Cloud9.
Yep. Just always nice when you can have like a 2 or 3 hero smoke, like with a Beastmaster plus a Skywrath, go smoke into enemy jungle, pop a Raw, Mystic Flare, and then Spectre's there to follow it up if you need to. And kind of fits that pseudo Zeus role when he can just get his team a lot of vision using the Haunt. Not quite something you can spam at as much as the Thunder God's Wrath, but Cloud9 really prioritized vision. So having Hawk, having Haunt, you can use Eidolons to some extent. This is a pick that they're going to be very comfortable with.
Yeah, now, their draft is lacking a little bit on control. You've got Primal Roar, of course you've got Black Hole and Malefice, but outside of that, they're a little bit light on stuns. Supernova, one of the more unreliable stuns in the game, and I guess at least you've got some good slows going on with your Concussive from the Skywrath, your Dagger. We'll see how it works out. Very greedy draft, though. And if they can make it work, get towards that late game, things will be good. NiP, I don't think they'll be ending this game anytime soon themselves. Not a huge amount of pushing power. They're kind of ready to tuck her in for that late game also. Dazzle scales very nicely. The Ogre, all these heroes work well into the late game. I'd imagine this first match will be a little bit on the longer side.
Yeah, I think NiP's draft has the potential to kind of dominate more in the early to mid game and get a big lead, take Roches, take towers, but pushing high ground, always the struggle. So even if they get a 10, 15k gold lead, I don't see them necessarily turning that into a win that easily. This last pick, I think they need an initiator. They need someone to pick heroes off who are split pushing. Brewmaster, okay, it's an initiator, but nothing really to punish like split push from Cloud9. Who's like your blink initiator that they've got? Yeah, Brewmaster can do that, but it's not like he's got the disable to pick off someone who's split pushing if they react quickly to him. So
yeah,
seems like a good hero nonetheless, though, because this actually gives them that push that can go with a good early to mid game and try and breach the high ground.
I feel like they did need something to kind of control the mid game a bit. Era will go safe lane with the sniper, and Limp will take the Brewmaster mid. One of these teams where they do switch around a little bit with who plays mid and who plays that safe lane.
I think Sniper's going to go... Yeah, safe lane. Era's got lots of regen. Okay, yeah.
Prepare for
Usually Limp will take the Brewmaster. I guess sometimes they do safe lane to really
They've done
prioritize
They've done Era mid with like Shadow Fiend.
Yeah,
always.
Shadow Fiend is the big one.
I've seen him go mid on Sniper.
Yeah, it's kind of 50-50 really. I think Era goes safe lane maybe like more 60% of the time. Maybe it's a little bit lopsided, but they do switch around a fair amount.
Against the Beastmaster, I think the Brew's actually like a little bit more suited to the mid lane in some ways. Yes, Sniper's got the range advantage, but Beastmaster with his just tankiness can spam axes, and level 6 Sniper kind of dies.
And there also aren't that many teams that run Beastmaster in the mid lane. There are some teams that like to play him, but usually more as an off-laner type role, recover with stacking and farming Ancients. But the mid on Fata is a little bit more of a Cloud9 signature, and maybe something some teams are not quite as comfortable playing against.
30 seconds to battle.
Already NiP invading the jungle a little bit here. They get a ward on the high ground. I believe that will not... Does this ward block this camp here? I don't think so. I think it's just out of the spawn box, but I'm
not sure on that one.
You don't see that spot very often.
That's
Gives a lot of great vision, though. If it doesn't block the camp, of course, you can see exactly who's farming it and when. Then this one will absolutely block that hard camp there in the middle of the jungle. So already Enigma's life can be a little more difficult for Big Daddy.
Yeah, and on the Radiant side, it's not going to be that safe lane Spectre. It looks like they're maybe thinking they're dodging some kind of an offensive trial lane. Cloud9 G2A are going to be running Envy in the off lane, but dual lanes from NiP. So the Dazzle Bristleback lane, a pretty disaster lane for a Spectre, but even top lane's not going to be fun. It's going to be an Ogre plus Sniper.
Okay. So, for the sake of game one here, let's introduce what's going on. We've got the stand-in for Bone 7, Admiral Bulldog himself. He's going to be safe lane Phoenix. It'll be Big Daddy in the jungle here on the Enigma. That puts Fata mid on the Beastmaster. Then the off lane, as you talked about, Eternal Envy on the Spectre, and that's Misery here on the Sky Wrath Mage. Bulldog already getting harassed quite hard. That Dazzle Bristle off lane. Seal Kid takes the Dazzle. Jonas will be here on the Bristleback. No surprise to see Limp mid on the Brew. We already talked about Era on that Sniper. That leaves us with their Drafter, Handskin. He's on the Ogre.
So Era taking a lot of harass, but he's got the item build for this. He's got 8 Tangos to salve. He's not going to actually be that bothered by what Misery is bringing to the table here. And Handskin with boots, I think quickly, Cloud9 will do okay the first couple of minutes, but then once you run out of mana on your Scarith Mage, you get level 2, level 3 on your Sniper, so he's got a couple points in the Shrapnel. This lane gets very difficult.
Yeah, Misery only has 1 clarity right now, so his mana sustainability not quite up to snuff. Era will definitely outlast him with all this regen here. And even Handskin, he's got a couple of tangos left, and he's ready to fight. He's ready to chase somebody down and go clubbing if he can find an opportunity.
I think level 2 they can just straight up kill Skywrath if Misery moves forward. With Ignite, Fire Blast, and multiple Shrapnels, that's probably a dead Skywrath Mage. Maybe you go for the Spectre because of the slower movement speed. Misery's got boots, but yeah, very likely we could see a kill happen early on at top.
Yeah, mid lane, pretty even in terms of farm, but Fata is being the bully here. Limp taking a lot of damage. He gets his bottle delivered and has to chew through pretty much the whole thing. Get back up to snuff. He'll go for this 2-minute rune at the top spawn, and he will find it. Bounty rune here for the Brew, and Big Daddy down bottom finds an invisibility. He is level 3, but not going to help him out all too much. Has not picked up Malefice yet, so no real gank potential in these early levels from the Enigma.
So pretty even-ish early game here with the lanes. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Fata to move around the map with his level 6 to help Envy get the farm he needs. The Phoenix is not going to get a great farm in the safe lane as well. It's not currently yet to get a last hit here. Bulldog getting zoned out really well by Seal Kid on the Dazzle.
Still 0-0. He is leeching decent experience, which is arguably more important for the Phoenix, but things looking okay for NiP. Expect Cloud9 G2A to have a slightly advantageous start here with the Enigma working the jungle, but now up top we'll see Envy in a little bit of trouble. Does try to dagger away, and more shrapnel raining down from the skies. This could well be your first blood. Envy on 6 HP. He goes down. It's Era with the first blood bonus gold on the Sniper. Nicely done, and talk about a close call.
Very close. Envy was like trying to do the maths. He had a Ring of Protection, poor man shield. He's thinking he can survive that triple shrapnel, but he even got to the low ground, but the shrapnel damage, I think it was the last tick before he got out of range, finished him off.
It was super close. Now back on the bottom lane, Bulldog, Icarus dive on cooldown. This will be the end of him. Another kill for NiP. It's Seal Kid that gets credit for this one. A great start for the Ninjas in Pajamas as they erupt in the 2 side lanes.
Cloud9 not going to be able to really recover easily in these lanes as well. I guess Aero's going to have to wait some time before he's got that triple shrapnel back, but when he does, it's going to be level 2 shrapnel now. He'll have some points in the take aim, and Hanskin going to have a second point in the ignite as well. So the kill potential here now comes from the magic damage. You can have all this damage block from your poor man's shield, from your plus armor from the ring, but this is not going to be a very easy lane for Envy.
As we've learned from Mr. Ben Wu, poor man's shield, a little more valuable than some of us thought, blocking those physical-based spells like Dazzle's heal, for example. But in this lane, not giving you that extra utility that's been hyped up recently. Let's just take a glance at the graphs here. It's NiP, wow, with about a 1,200 gold lead already. Those 2 kills making a big difference, and Big Daddy just not able to make up for that gap in the farm. We'll see more initiation onto Envy in the top lane. He'll force the dagger away, but will take a lot of damage in the meantime. Headshots from Era coming out of plenty, throwing out the shrapnel. Envy, he could go down again here, and he does. The sniper now 2-0. The off-lane Spectre, I think you could label a bit of a disaster at this point. We'll see Limp maybe in some trouble mid lane. Skywrath Mage rotating in. Ancient Seal is there, but Dazzle will TP in and not even need it. Puts out the shallow grave, but Limp was more than safe.
And Limp is going to have his bottle coming back from base fairly soon, so he'll be able to just stay in this lane. Doesn't have to go back. About to hit level 6 as well. A little bit ahead of Fata, but needs to be careful because Fata could surprise him with a roar fairly soon. Era made the nice move of getting the fast phase boots. I mean, nothing crazy or out of the ordinary for a sniper, but as soon as he got the phase boots, they go in for the kill, and that's the thing where Envy just sees Era with the brown boots, but then he goes to the as they engage in, he picks up the phase boots, and the extra damage and chase potential from this was just too much. Oh, bottom lane though, this looks like a possibly dead Dazzle.
Quite possibly. Enigma only level 5 though. He doesn't have shallow grave. That's maybe the bigger problem. Jonas getting aggressive on the Big Daddy, but now he'll get silenced by Misery. Forces in another TP. Phoenix will finish off Seal Kid, and now Jonas, he's definitely going down, but he's going to take one with him. He brings down Misery and forces all 5 of Cloud9 to react to this bottom lane. So even though it's a 1-for-2 and NiP only get a support, Fata uses his first ultimate there. Envy joins the party at the bottom lane. There was a lot of resources from Cloud9 used for that, while Era is just happily free-farming up in the top lane.
Yeah, it's kind of what Cloud9 G2A just have to do right now, but it's still favorable for NiP. It's just the least favorable of the good options there. So
yeah.
The Raw also stopped Bristleback. He had 10 one charges there, which he could have popped to maybe get a second kill there, but Fata using the Raw kind of stopped him, locked him in place. Fata now in some trouble. Jonas going to look to chase him down with the goo.
Big Daddy's here, 2 points into Malefice. Almost has the black hole, but just a little bit short. Malefice will come out. Dagger flies through as well. Jonas might want to be a little careful about how far he goes here, but Limp now coming in. Handskin as well. There's a Supernova, but there is a split if need be. They'll not focus the egg, instead just back out. Envy's already used his dagger, and it will start to expire. Supernova goes off. No stuns come through. Handskin still hasted up. Drops the stun onto the Spectre. Now the sticky goo starting to stack up. Here come the Wild Axes. Softens up this dire side, but Envy in more than a bit of trouble. He'll fall for the 3rd time this game. Now the Phoenix put the Cyclone. No Icarus dive. He's going down as well. It's NiP coming out ahead in this skirmish. Now they need to make the retreat. More TP reactions. And Jonas will be in the front lines. He's okay. Seal Kid doing so much work with that level 2 Shadow Wave.
And Era just still free farming away at top there. That Cyclone from Brewmaster caught the Phoenix mid-dive. He'd like just used the dive to go in, and like halfway through the dive gets thrown up in the Cyclone. And then suddenly he's in like the middle of 3 heroes. So he was dead right after they killed Envy. So it was just nice play from your Brew and just NiP.
Look how far behind Envy is now, Parker. He's behind the Phoenix and the Enigma in net worth. Ooh, Limp mid lane. He's in some trouble. He gets silenced up. Big damage, but he says, hey, I'm just going to TP out of here. I'm pretty beefy. And he makes it.
Oh, man.
Nice heads-up play there. Doesn't panic under the pressure.
C9 just can't find a kill at this point.
Was that a Primal Roar used again? Yeah,
that was the initiation.
Wow. Okay.
He will get some pressure on this tier 1 tower, but TP's coming in. That's your Ogre with probably just an Ignite to kind of push him back if needed, but...
Ogre already level 4. Handskin having a pretty good opener here. And Dazzle's even doing better, level 5.
And Jonas, he's going to be kind of sustain himself at bottom lane. 8-minute runes coming up. Enigma going to want to try to deny this from the Bristleback, and we'll get the Invis.
Of all the runes for him to get there, that or a haste, I think the only 2 that would have saved him. And, well, Big Daddy, a little lucky there. But the gamble pays off. He does have Black Hole now, so perhaps something Cloud9 can use to get a little momentum back. Already 7-2. Do we dare look at this graph? 3K net worth, 2,000 experience is the edge for the Ninjas in Pajamas. Now Bulldog rotates to the off lane, and Envy He'll take over safe lane farming for now. Still just the 4-man shield, boots, and the ring of protection. Desperately looking for just a basic amount of item progression here. No supports joining him. It's just Seal Kid in the off lane for now as Jonas does TP back down. So Envy, even though he's now into the safe lane, not really going to be the easiest place for him to farm. Yeah. Bristle is definitely a bit scary at this point with his power treads already completed.
I think his catch-up is going to have to come from kind of ganking with the Beastmaster Raw. Like, he's going to want to use this haunt fairly early on, so get a kill or two for his team and then try and get farm while heroes are dead. He can't just sit bottom lane and try and farm a Radiance. I think he's going to need to go for like a Treads or a Phase Boot, maybe even an Urn for the team. Get some just basic early game items, even just a casual Bracer, and then use this haunt to kind of assist ganks and then try KS the kills if possible, but even just being in the area for the kind of the kind of area effect golden experience, because other than that he's not farming much at bottom lane.
Well, it looks like they may be thinking about having a go on Limp in the mid lane. He does have a Primal Split available. 2 rotations already. Big Daddy as well as Misery are here. Perhaps they just want to siege the tower instead. Lift is available. It will be used. Hawk to scout things out. Limp thinking about some initiation here, but will be silenced. And after all, they hand over the tower. So that's it. Okay, a couple of TPs come in from NiP, but they actually decide to not mount a defense.
Keeping Arrow just farming top lane. He now has a complete Mask of Madness. Still very squishy. If you ever catch him out with a Roar, and I think that's maybe one of the plays you can make if you're C9.
Oh, instead they go for Seal Kid. Silence is there. The concussive from Misery. That'll be an easy pick. But it is Big Daddy that gets credit for the kill. Haunt was used by Envy, so at least gets an assist. A little bit of experience for that. But not really tipping the scales all too much.
Yeah.
Pretty low priority kill there.
Top lane Phoenix getting some pressure underneath this top tier on Tower. Also using Icarus Dive to get out of there, but I think the next Raw you kind of want to maybe smoke up with your Skywrath Mage, go for a kind of wrap around and try to get a kill on Era with the kind of Haunt plus Raw. He is getting ridiculous farm right now.
The Skywrath seems to be the key piece that really makes it happen. Against that Dazzle, without the silence, he probably Graves and maybe gets away there. Same with the Brewmaster. Pretty good chance he'll split out. I don't think they have the damage to kill him in the duration of just the Primal Roar, so they need to stagger the stuns into the silences if they want to have a chance at finding these kills. And a lot of tanky heroes on NiP outside of the Dazzle. I guess the Sniper as well, who should be pretty elusive with his positioning. Very, very tanky lineup. Ogre, Bristle, Brew. Not a trio of heroes that are easy to bring down in these early fights.
And as bad as this early game has seemingly gone, there's still not that big a gold difference. They're going to go for a kill on Jonas here. May even commit a Black Hole if they feel they need to. No Tail actually doesn't have the mana for it.
The Shallow Grave has already come out. Jonas on the run. He may well go down here. The Quill's doing a lot of damage. Sniper finishes off the Enigma. Jonas somehow still alive. Seal Kid doing so much sustain. He will eventually fall, but it's already a 1 for 3. NiP have rotated their entire team, and Cloud9 do not seem like they were ready for it. Now Envy in a lot of trouble. No ultimate. Finally gets the mana for a Spectral Dagger, but it doesn't matter. They tighten the noose and make it a 1 for 4. A triple kill for Era on the Sniper as NiP take yet another successful team fight and find a 1,500 net worth game.
And the tier 1 tower to follow. That was... They were expecting a Black Hole there. And I think NoTel was even telling his team, if we need the Black Hole, I'll use it. But without the Black Hole, Bristleback just kept using the Quills. Yeah, he's dying, but he's getting tons of Quill Spray damage off. Everyone got super low. And they just need to Black Hole him. Dazzle can't cancel the Black Hole. Even if you don't get the Dazzle in the Black Hole as well. I think the plan there from Cloud9 was use a Black Hole just to kill Bristleback, but he was like 15 mana short. If it was the old Black Hole that cost 250 mana, he had it.
Oh, Black Hole in the top lane. It's going to be a whiff. I can feel the breeze from here, Parker. Another disaster for Cloud9. First Black Hole of the game. Very A-characteristic of the Big Daddy.
Nope. Cloud9 just possibly a bit off right now. They're going to go back in, though. They want Jonas once more. Can he get the return kills? Multiple TPs with a Supernova being dropped, and it looks like...
a split here.
He's going to use the split just to... Well, he still gets stunned through that.
Okay, not the best Brew split to follow up.
May catch someone here. Envy.
They might be able to find Envy. Spectral Dagger comes out. They need the vision, though. Sniper's not here. He can't lay down the shrapnels, and it looks like this time they will find a clean kill on the Bristleback. So both teams kind of whiffing an ultimate there. That Brew ult did nothing. Black Hole did nothing, and at the end, Cloud9 do get a kill on the Bristleback. So nice little gank there, but no doubt about it, NiP are still in control at this stage.
Yeah. Could be, it feels like the gold lead is not as bad as it could otherwise be. Cloud9 just so efficient with their farm. You've got an Enigma on your team, and even Envy, who's been kind of really shut down this game, has managed to just get some basics. Phase boots, bring a Basilisk. And they've got some core items now. They've got the mech on the Enigma. Fata's got money for a Necrobook too. Fata's actually up there, like second most farm here in the game. He can offer a lot to his team, especially around that Necrobook 3 timing. So
he has a surprising amount of farm, actually. I feel like he's been rather active, but he's also found some time to sit back and CS a bit. 63 creep kills for now, 1, 0, and 1. So the kills, of course, helping out his bottom line. Checking in on Envy, sharing is caring as he joins Big Daddy in the jungle. They will work together to take out a tomato and a potato. He's got himself some phase boots now to go with his Bassi. 1,000 gold up on the Spectre. Very curious what build Envy goes for here. Does he look for that Radiance quote-unquote rush and just try and recover that way with a big farming tool? Or does he go more combative, maybe grab a drums right now to get that little HP buffer, maybe something like an urn, and just try and get involved with as many fights as possible and use that haunt as his big kind of farming tool?
At this point, I think the Radiance possibility is still there. It's going to kind of depend how things go over the next 3 to 4 minutes. Like, he's not really made a clear decision right now. Right now, it's like, okay, I'm going to save up gold, and if things keep going at an okay pace, I can go for the Radiance. If we start getting really crushed, maybe I have to pick up, like, a more basic item to fight with.
Well, now NiP move into the tier 1 tower up top. Phoenix nearby will just TP out of the danger zone. They don't scout him out. And luckily for the Bulldog, that is the case. He makes it out safe and sound. Era will kill the tower, and now he gets a little bit bigger. He's got a Yasha, and I'm curious what he goes into next. Probably just the S and Y. It is Era after all.
Oh yeah, he loves his S and Y.
Not an obvious Manta game either. No Orchids. I guess Silence of the Skywrath Mage. Probably never really going to be on the Sniper. Plenty of other high priority targets.
He's pretty squishy, just sitting on 800 HP at the moment, so having like an SMY, then even going into a Skadi could give him some much needed HP to kind of fight around.
Okay, well, things are going to slow down a little bit here. NiP just continuing to farm their jungle as Cloud9, G2A do the same. Vanguard is up on the Bristleback. He also picked up that casual cloak. He grabbed it very early on, but I think a very smart choice on Bristleback and an item we don't see enough. It's just so valuable on him when he can turn his back and absorb that much more damage. Not a huge amount of spell damage, but enough that I think it's worthy of a choice.
Phoenix Skywrath, and Phoenix especially does a lot of magic damage if he's hitting you with the Fire Spirits, but
perhaps worried about the Skywrath Mage or when he hits level 6.
One of the big problems to Cloud9 is Skywrath's still just level 5. We haven't seen Misery get the Mystic Flare yet, and it's kind of like when you get your line hits level 6, suddenly you've got so much more kind of kill potential coming out from your support, but 60 minutes in, Misery's still trying to find that XP.
Yeah, and he's actually pretty far behind relative to the other supports. NiP are 7 and 8 on the Ogre and Dazzle. And
is under attack.
who's the other support? Ah, the Enigma. There you go. Well, maybe that explains it. Enigma level 10, so that does kind of tip the scales and level things out maybe a little bit more.
Oh, this smoke, they get revealed from the High Ground Brew. He may still die.
Unfortunate here. He will get silenced. Shallow Grave comes out from the Dazzle. Shadow Wave as well. They even commit a Black Hole for this. They'll still find the kill on Limp, but boy, do they have to commit a lot for it, and they might not get off scot-free. Era looking for a kill onto Big Daddy. Won't be able to finish him off quite yet. On the run, Phoenix goes into egg form. Misery will try to chase him down, and this Arcane Bolt will be enough damage. Era without his stick, no way to heal himself up. They also get the kill on Dazzle. Cloud9 finding a great fight here, a 1-for-3 trade. They end the mega kill streak on the Sniper as well. Hanskin wants to come in to join the party, but slowed up by the Boar, and not going to be able to find anyone here, it doesn't look like. Unfortunate for him, also getting mana drained by the Necro units. Well, the turnaround begins. Cloud9 get a lot out of that one, and they make a pretty big dent into these golden experience graphs.
Much needed Black Hole too there, because if they don't Black Hole, the Brewmaster survives till he's no longer stunned in silence and gets off a split, and then you just lose the fight, I think, if Brew gets that split off. So it looked like this is a 1 HP hero who's kind of already dead. Why are you Black on him? But you've got to do that there. That's kind of a good split-second decision from No-Tail. Otherwise, I think that fight goes the NiP way.
Yeah, there's one key spell that can really reset these fights and ruin exactly what Cloud9 did there. It is the Primal Split. If he survives and gets that split off, everything you just dumped onto that Brew basically goes out the window, and now he's got stuns, he's got crowd controls, and also some pretty decent damage coming out. So great news. Eternal Envy now up to 2,800 gold, so it looks like the dream for a decently timed relic is still real. 5,700 net worth, putting him right in the middle of the pack. Still has a little ways to go before he overtakes the Sniper, but Cloud9 still looking pretty healthy. They have a tier 1 tower standing in the mid lane. NiP not really putting as much pressure on as they once were. I think their ticket here will be just to sit back and continue farming and look for proper openings to try and take fights. They do have some aggressive wards down, but they are about to expire. So I don't think they'll get too much more use out of these guys.
NiP gonna smoke their way into Roche here. Looks like Bristle Sniper should be able to do this with relative ease. Expect the Haunts back up, but he hasn't got the mana to use it, so it looks like this will just go by uncontested.
Yeah. Not even close to the mana threshold. Minus armor from the Bristleback does make this pretty easy. And it looks like it will be a free Roche. Okay, well that's good news for NiP. Era, I think, likely to be the Aegis carrier here. Maybe they'll give it to the Bristle. They'll go give it to the Sniper. Okay, so still nothing on the Sniper since we last checked in. Probably the S&Y still on the horizon, about 2k gold now. We'll see what he wants to invest in. Where does Limp go this game on the Brew? Level 11 with just the Blink Dagger. I think BKB next is probably what he needs just to try and deal with that Skywrath silence a little more.
Normally like to, he's kind of underfarmed here. Normally you'd see maybe like a Vlad's by about 20 minutes in. But yeah, he needs that BKB probably to get out of the Skywrath silence.
Yeah. Guess he could look for that aura-based build, Vlad's, like you mentioned, into like an Assault Kuros. We've seen that build quite a bit.
He can go back for those items after the BKB. And generally that like aura build includes a BKB. It's like a Vlad's BKB then AC, but he may just have to hit the BKB before some of those other items.
Yeah, I think the one item that he'll probably avoid here is that Aghanim Scepter. That build is really fallen off in popularity and seems like it's only picked up when there's some kind of a big lead or a huge snowball, when you're so far ahead that you have the luxury to get an Ags really early on. Games like this, it just doesn't offer enough because the timing that he'll grab it is just going to be a little sour.
So when NiP pick up Aegis, they get a good chunk of gold on Jonas, who's now up to 3.5k after that Roche. So him and Sniper are both still top of your net worth chat right now and getting pretty big and scary. So I think they may try and take some more towers, especially this tier 1 mid tower, which is still standing, while they've got the Aegis, especially around the time they pick up some fresh new items.
But look who's got a relic, Eternal Envy. He's on the rise, and this has turned into a pretty decent timing. He'll probably have a Radiance by 23 minutes or so, depending on what happens between now and then. Not bad, but I mean, not great, but not bad given how rough of a start he had. Fata, I just saw him use his ultimate there in the lane. But
did he go for the Bristleback? I just saw the Necro book out in the wrong corner. I'm like, wait, what did he do?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think he used it on Limp here, but I don't really know what the plan was. The follow-up was...
He's okay.
Yeah, nowhere to be found. Looks like these Necro units will get low but stay alive.
I think it may have been on Jonas even. He was out of mana and seemed to have been maybe initiated on, but didn't really die there. Hanska now walks into the Necro units and the Quillbore. I think
he's dead here, yeah.
He's going to come in for the kill secure. Actually gets it just with the Horn Illusion.
Wow, that's nice. That's the dream. You don't even have to come in. You can keep farming and you get the kill. That's now a killing spree for Envy.
Yeah, he's just recovered by farming the bare basics, like his own jungle camps, and kind of very slow, inefficient farm, but the kills have really been what have added up for him. Yeah, he's 4-4-4.
Yeah, he started 0-3 this game, so that speaks to how much his KDA has turned around. This is what Cloud9 really does so well, and where they outshine a lot of other teams is once they fall behind, choosing when to fight is just... They take it on their turf. They only fight when they have some kind of advantage, when they have superior positioning, they have superior vision. They always wait for that edge, and they're just so patient until they find those moments, and that's how they claw their way back from deficits like this. You look at that graph, and it's just slowly moving up.
It's where they love these vision heroes, too. I mean, the Night Stalker, the Zeus being the two big ones, but they're now banned out, so instead they go for the Beastmaster with a Spectre who has Haunt, so they've just got such good vision coming out from their heroes.
So now it looks like NiP thinking about some pressure on this tier 1 tower mid just as the Radiance comes out on the Spectre. He doesn't have a Haunt, so maybe not the most ideal time to fight. But will they defend this tier 1 tower? Seems like they will just let her go down. Glyph comes out and Era will continue laying down the auto attacks. Now Big Daddy gets caught out in the jungle. He will use the mech, but it won't be enough to stay alive. Assassinate to finish him off. Now a Primal Split used off to the side. Fata still holding his ultimate for now. Takes a boulder toss. Turns onto Handskin. Does drop his ultimate. Necro units are still down, but Era says, thanks for the money. We'll just clear it up. Jonas will actually take that last will damage. NiP happy with that trade. They will have to trade tier 1 for tier 1. Bulldog is split pushing in the top lane, racking up a lot of farm as well. Almost 3k gold on this Phoenix. But getting those 2 kills as collateral, of course, does make that a great trade for the Ninjas in Pajamas.
Bit of a cast curse. Oh, they're so good at picking their fights, and they get caught out despite having like vision. Like the Quillboars were off scouting, the Hawk was off scouting, and then they still get jumping.
Still, in general, they're very good about picking their fights.
No.
That instance, maybe not so much, but no, good read from NiP. And here's what Bulldog's going to do with all this gold. Not so often you see a Phoenix farming this well.
Yeah,
so Shiva's Guard is a decent option, I think. Otherwise, Blink Dagger for the positioning of your Supernova is another item that a lot of Phoenix players like to go for, but he's kind of saved that well beyond that point.
Yeah, not really a great Aghanims game for the Phoenix. That's one of your all-time luxury items on this hero, but not really sure what kind of stuff you're cooling down here. I guess you could have like a double Midnight Pulse or something. That's got a pretty good cooldown.
And the egg's just going to die, so if you try to save someone by putting him in the egg, chances are your egg is just going to die and you both go down with it. So
yeah, it's a little gimmicky. Atos, another item that we see on Phoenix occasionally. Gives him good baseline of stats and some natural synergy there, but he does have the Mystic Staff, so
probably Shiva's.
Yeah, Shiva's your classic item, slowing down that attack speed, exactly what you want to do. Always good against the sniper and great when you've got an egg. Aegis will despawn though. It's been past that 5-minute timer, so free regen rune goes the way of Jonas, who has picked up a BKB, by the way. Bristleback with 10 seconds of fresh magic immunity. He's been working these Ancients. Clears out another double stack here, and him and Era both still topping the farming charts, and pretty good bit up on the leading farmers of Cloud9 G2A.
Well, Cloud9 G2A do have the kind of quad core lineup with the Jungle Enigma playing more as a core than a support at this point. So I guess that's where they're making up some of the gold deficit. It was a really good use of the Aegis, though. For NiP, they were kind of almost back to even, and then they made things a lot closer.
All right, Haunt into the mid lane. Looks like they wanted Jonas, but Handskin will be nearby. Egg comes out kind of between the two of them. BKB's used by Jonas, but he's now caught in the black hole. Does he live here? Handskin's already still alive. Jonas definitely goes down. Era raining down the shrapnels. He'll be on the run. I think he's okay here. Double cast onto the Phoenix. There we go. That'll make it a 1-for-1, a 1-for-2 as the Primal Split comes out. They'll bring down the Skywrath Mage. Big Daddy now left behind. He's speedy with those boots of travel, but not speedy enough. A less than ideal fight for Cloud9. As does Era live? Yeah, he'll be okay. Necro units coming in, and they will still lose the Ogre as a little bit of collateral at the end. Looks like Spectre does find yet another kill, but my, oh my, NiP. Did Bristleback buy back there?
Yes, he bought back.
I didn't show up on my recap. That's why I was a little confused. I thought
I had a recap that showed
beginning.
1 kill. I'm just like, this is not a very useful recap.
Yeah, so, okay, buyback on Jonas. That does change the bottom line a little bit, but still an absolutely great fight for NiP. And the other thing to remember is the amount of cooldowns used. That's a black hole on cooldown here.
Envy.
Primal Roar. They may still find Envy after all. He's juking around the trees. He does actually juke out Jonas a bit. And Jonas, will he let him go? Yes, he does. Thinking about chasing. He wanted it, but well played by Envy. Nice footwork there in the fog.
Oh.
So, okay, still, I wish we had a recap, a real recap for that. I think still a win for NiP despite the buyback. I mean, the was a 2-for-3 trade.
Gold graph is pretty flat. The main place where they lost the gold was the Bristleback, but he's got his BKB Vanguard. He's still sitting on a decent chunk of money, so his farm fell off a bit because of that, and they didn't kill Envy. So I think from that point of view, maybe an even fight.
Okay,
but
I could see that. Yeah, Era stays alive also, so both carries stay alive, get a little bit done. Era does complete his BKB off that fight, so that does give him a little edge coming up in this next skirmish, and it looks like that skirmish could be coming soon. Smoke from NiP in the mid lane as they rendezvous with Limp. He will have his Primal Split up in just about 10 seconds. Fata, his ultimate's already cooled down, but No Tail still has over a minute before he's got the Black Hole. Haunt used by Envy. That reveals the smoke. The jig is up, but they're still going in onto Bulldog. He barely gets off the Supernova, but Era will stand his ground. They'll just try and auto-attack it down, and they'll be successful. It's a Bulldog in the grave. Now Misery on the run, scouted out by the Shrapnel. Nowhere for him to go. He'll fall also. Fata in the tree line. Does have a TP scroll. Not using it for now. And we'll just hang around to finish off this tower. The Boar will actually find the last hit. No deny comes out from the Dire. So they traded tier 2 for 2 hero kills. I think NiP can stomach that.
Yeah, that was a pretty low tower here. They smoke past the Hawk and kind of catch C9 by surprise despite the Haunt being used.
It was a good Haunt, though, from Envy. A little suspicious that there could be a rotation. And even though the illusions don't actually reveal the smoke, you still know exactly what's going on when you see the illusions next to a bunch of nothing.
And cancels the Brewmaster blink, I think.
Yes.
I didn't see if he got the blink in with that.
On paper, it does. He may have blinked right before. I wasn't looking at the brew right when it happened. But in general, that is a great way to stop the Primal Split initiation. He actually didn't use the Primal Split in that fight, so they will have it up for what potentially could be the next Roche, although it will be a very lengthy respawn, about minute 45 here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. And leave the Bristle Illusion in there and just wait things out a bit. They can farm the Ancients nearby, and NiP now have the Vlads on the Brewmaster to go with his BKB. So starting to stack some of those auras.
Okay. Those farms recovered a bit here.
Yeah, Lim's had a good couple of fights in a row now. He was, I mean, he's 4-1-5. His score's fantastic. He was just going to smoke up. The Hawk did not spot that one. It was just about to head over top, but won't see them at the Ancients or at Roshan. So there is a lot of the map that's been revealed by Cloud9 G2A. So I think they may
They're definitely
this one out.
suspicious.
Yeah.
You see Big Daddy sitting at a tier 3 tower, Bulldog behind a tier 2.
Their map vision's great. They've got wards at mid, at top, around Roshan. They've got the Hawk. So they
look at this positioning. Everybody just runs to a tier 3 tower. You can tell Envy, do not get caught out. I repeat, do not get caught out, or you will feel my wrath. And hopefully, well, they did take heed to his advice. Okay, very good.
I think he speaks a bit faster than that.
That's true.
You didn't mesh the words together.
I won't do my Envy impersonation.
You
but he does.
Your entire sentence, every word has to be meshed into one word. That's the key.
Jonas with a BKB on. Egg comes out. He will take the Primal Roar. A Black Hole. 3 ultimates used for the Bristleback. Make it 4. And he's still very healthy. Now Limp comes in, stunned by the Supernova, but still gets off his BKB. Primal Split's there, but Big Daddy, he's in the fog. He does TP out, and they can't find him. No kills come out, but you can certainly call that a victory for the Ninjas in Pajamas. Jonas is like, well, I just tanked their entire team's worth of ultimates, so I think we're ready to fight, guys. Let's do this.
May go for Roshan, but I think they could also get the tier 2 tower along the way. No Raw, no Black Hole. How are you initiating and taking a fight if you're Cloud9 G2A?
I think they can get both off this. If they just walk into the Roche pit, Cloud9 should not feel brave running in there against a Brew with a Primal Split when all they have is a Haunt.
They'll have Raw soon enough. It's a pretty short cooldown there, but I think they also really want to have that Black Hole. So they're going to make their way towards Roshan. The other problem is that Cloud9 are just way too far away.
Alright, so NiP looks like they will try to find the best of both worlds. Tier 2 tower goes down. Only one outer tower remaining for Cloud9. Now Roshan, number 2, under assault. Envy farming down bottom. Looks like he's got a Yasha, 3,300 gold. He is on the up and up. You look at net worth, still not closing the gap against Era's Sniper, but he's on point now with the Bristleback, surpassing him by just a bit, and still showing us that the Spectre has a sign of life. Unfortunately, his teammates, though, not looking so healthy in terms of farm. Fata finally falling off. He was number 2, number 3, and now he's 5th on net worth overall, and the Bulldog as well as the Enigma definitely not as scary as they once were. With the initiation onto the Ogre mid lane, Blink Primal Roar used, and follow up there from the Skywrath Mage. They bring down the big boy, but not a very high value kill on that support Ogre.
One of those like, okay, they just got Aegis. They want a 5-man soon. Let's smoke so we can quickly pick them off and delay out the Aegis. You just basically want to fight away from the Aegis, so even though it's not a big pick-off by any means, doesn't really help Cloud9 as far as gold gain or the Ogre's gold loss, but it helps them because NiP are knock me out of 5-man and go for a high ground siege as early as they'd like. So you're just kind of cutting down time on the Aegis right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Era, item-wise, what's he looking at? Just a Daedalus now going raw damage. Pretty damn close, about 900 gold away from the last piece.
That is scary stuff,
He's hitting quite hard, and Envy's still at this point where he has a lot of farming to do. We talked about his recovery, and it's quite good, but still not really at that stage of the game where Spectre really shines and is particularly scary to NiP. Bristleback picks up his S&Y. He'll be the Aegis carrier this time. I think I misspoke before. They gave the first Aegis to Era on the Sniper, and now they switched over and give it to the Bristleback. So
yeah, that's right.
Feeling like their front liner here may be a little more susceptible. Interesting change of pace.
And they've been throwing a lot of hate at this Bristle, these solo black holes and all.
True. And that's true.
And they're kind of in a position where you just, like, you use the Raw for solo kills, you use the Black Hole for solo kills as well, because you don't want to take a 5-on-5 fight. It's unlikely you get a good Black Hole until you have got the BKB. As far as ways to cancel BKB Black Hole, there is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So this...
Abyssal Blade, anyone? Bristleback? Yeah, maybe that'll be his next item. I don't know.
Even then, it's like a melee cast range, so unless you're like catching the Enigma from behind.
Nah, it's true. It's not something you can really count on. Ooh, they scout out Envy. Okay, I'll let him go. NiP are hungry. They're moving around this enemy jungle. They're ready to invade. Cloud9 have the same kind of idea here. They are pushing the top lane. That's the one lane where the tier 2 tower has already gone down. There's still a tier 1 standing in the bottom lane here for NiP.
It's the right lane to push to, because whenever your opponents are pushing mid, it's the easiest and safest lane to split push, and also there's farm nearby, so you can rotate from the enemy jungle to the top lane and force NiP back, or at least try to force them back. NiP is saying, yeah, let's go for something else.
Limp does come back. BKB on. He goes in onto Fata here to try and repel, checking in on the other base. They are starting to siege the high ground. Looks like Fata will be able to TP back. And now NiP will start to back out. They get more than half damage on the tier 3 tower. Fata barely tickles the Dyers. So it is another good trade for NiP.
Oh, they're going for Limp at top.
Oh,
Envy's got this. Really smart play.
He's got a TP scroll. Very nicely done.
He's actually
he get
back.
reality back in? Okay. He kills him before his ult's even done. Wow, that's a really nice play.
Brew was just, I mean, it wasn't even anything that greedy, just not respecting the Spectre. And now Bulldog gets the supernova off.
Wow, what a close call by Era. He's on the low ground for the backside, trying to bring down the egg. He will. Black Hole comes out, connects on 2, secures the kill onto Handskin, but now Jonas, BKB on. He'll turn and try and fight. He wants to chase down Big Daddy. He'll start stacking up the goo. Big Daddy tries to TP home. Maleficus is there. Do they have the damage? They don't. Oh, what a close call, and he barely lives. Another Black Hole deployed, and not the most victorious of fights for Cloud9. Brewmaster did buy back, and now that those big ultis are on cooldown, NiP say, this is our time to fight. Let's go straight for the base. Bulldog, he'll buy back as well in anticipation, but they're lacking a glyph. Down for another 15 seconds. That'll be the end of their tier 3 tower. Limp, with a primal split available, goes charging on in. Boulder toss onto Big Daddy. We'll just try to make some space for his team to focus on the barracks. Era on the backside. Maybe in some trouble here without a BKB, but Jonas does have the Aegis. They choose not to utilize it here, though it's about to expire. Only 30 seconds left.
Fata's trying to sneak in and get Era on that sniper, but knock me out to do so.
Limp BKB TP, he'll make it out. So they get the tier 3 tower, very minimal damage on barracks. I like the idea from NiP. Very risky just to burn a buyback like that, but they do force Bulldog to burn his, so I think all things considered, still a break-even, if not a slightly advantageous trade for NiP.
It's kind of break-evens, but Cloud9, they've now survived the Aegis. So Aegis is going to be expiring.
That's true.
And that makes life a lot easier. But Cloud9 is still very dependent on these big ultimates. Having Haunt and Black Hole to take a fight. If they ever whiff an ultimate at this point, or use, even if they're not whiffing it, if they use an ultimate but don't get a kill off of it, that's when they find themselves in a lot of trouble. So still 95 seconds without a Black Hole. This could be NiP maybe looking to pressure lanes here. The move is always going to be for Cloud9 G2A. Split push this top lane, have someone farming the enemy jungle, and then quickly transition to that top lane if NiP try and push down mid.
Well, now Bristle, he picks up the Basher, so looking for that possible Abyssal Blade after all. So just a good item on Bristle, with or without trying to interrupt a BKB Enigma. Great for lockdown on heroes like Spectre, and gives him a lot of right-click potential. Also, Handskin will get initiated on by Fata. Actually finds a 2x multicast to get things started. Haunt is used, but Envy doesn't reality in anywhere. And Handskin actually able to force out the stun there from Fata. Now BOT's coming in. Nope, they'll get canceled. And Handskin will just try to run away. Does have a haste rune, and it looks like he will be able to survive the burn here from the Manta illusions on Spectre.
So, well, the Haunt main ultimate used. Yeah. The Roar's pretty short cooldown.
How long is it actually? 70 seconds? Okay, yeah. So maybe not even worth mentioning.
The Roar's not a big problem. Like, the Roar's fine. If you use a Roar and don't get a kill, it's not a big deal. The Haunt's slightly more worrying, but I think with Aegis on cooldown, you're going to be okay. It's more if you have, like, no Black Hole. If all of those ultis are on cooldown, you're in trouble. And, yeah, the Black Hole's not on cooldown, but it is still on cooldown. But it's up soon enough, and NiP are not in position to push any lanes out. They've got to, again, worry about the split push. Fata's back at top, and using his map control to keep these lanes pressured.
Yep, and he's got the Zoo strat going on here now with his BOTs, level 3 Necro Book, and double Boars to make things a little more interesting. Handskin, he's not really closing in, but making decent progress towards an Aghanim Scepter. He's about 1,300 gold away, and that's always a big item on a support Ogre, one of the things that allows him to kind of transition into that late game and still have a presence. If you can find back-to-back multicasts on those Fire Blasts, the damage is, of course, scary, but it's the duration that you can keep someone locked down that gets really ridiculous. And that's where it just comes down to RNG, where a hero like Skywrath Mage could go from full to 0 before he even gets any spells off. You know, same with a hero like Enigma. You might have a BKB, but if Ogre can jump on him with some unrefined fire, Big Daddy might not be having a good time.
We'll see. Cloud9, G2A just going to sit back, keep the top lane split pushed up. They're going to put kind of heroes that either have buyback or that if they get caught out, because NiP could, if NiP wanted, they smoke up maybe 2 heroes, 3 heroes, and they can find pickoffs at top lane. That's always going to happen, but it doesn't really lead to pushes or objectives there, so it's not really the most value smoke to do, and the Spectre, the high priority heroes are going to be kind of kept out of harm's way for the most part.
Uh-oh, Haunt used. They find Jonas down bottom. Another black hole deployed for the solo Bristleback. Very ambitious from the Bristle. He wanted to run in on Fata. Didn't realize that Big Daddy could be nearby so quickly, and even before he initiated onto Fata, the Haunt was there, and that is just a free pickup.
Envy's recovery has been really impressive. From 0-3 to now 7-4-7. He's soaring right now.
Now, speaking of soaring, Phoenix in a little bit of trouble here. Era pops the Mask of Madness, and that egg will get broken. Now a 1-for-1, both off-laners getting picked off here.
Not like this though, getting pressured. It always feels like Cloud9 are the one pressuring objectives more when there's these pick-off trades. And NiP looking to re-engage mid lane. They use a BKB on Era, but while this is going on, tier 2 bottom tower getting some hefty damage.
Yep, that was an 8-second BKB on the sniper. Less than ideal for NiP, but not the end of the world. They will defend their tier 2 in the bottom lane. 1 of 2 outer towers remaining for them, as Cloud9 continue to get closer to the tier 3s.
Cloud9 starting to get their late game scary items as well. You've got a Skadi on Envy. Beastmaster's a couple hundred gold short of his refresher now, so...
Oof.
Then you look at Enigma, 2.5k gold. Big Daddy No-Tail likely to... If he wants to keep using these solo black holes, which I think is a good move, having a refresher so he can just get that second ulti will help his team out a lot as well.
Yeah, turning into a pretty even game here as we start moving in towards the late game. You look at the golden experience graphs, and they're just about zeroed out at this stage of the game. The difference of a couple thousand gold is really nothing too significant, and it's more a battle of positioning, initiation, and who can control Roshan. This is third Rosh coming up in about 40 seconds, so I reckon both sides will be eager to get themselves some of that yummy cheese. This will be one Rosh that Cloud9 will not want to hand over for free as they've done with the previous 2. There's that refresher you mentioned, completed and in the inventory of Mr. Fata.
Can I try and keep NiP guessing? So they've spent Fata a lot of time top, but he boots the Travel's bottom lane. Also considering the next Roshan, I think this may be the first Rosh that Cloud9 try and contest. If Envy can run in first, he may want to save the Haunt so we can buy back and Haunt in, have 2 lives. With his current HP, 2.3k, he's very tanky, can do a lot of damage with Dispersion and cause a lot of problems for NiP if he does have 2 lives.
Package is here. Ogre closing in on that Aghanim Scepter, just about 500 gold off. And other item progression, still pretty far away from the Abyssal on Jonas. And, well, what Seal Kid picked up? He actually now has a gem on the Dazzle. So it looks like NiP will try to grab a little bit more map control. Now Rosh has respawned. Aegis and Cheese available for the taking. And Jonas will cruise into the pit. Minus armor online. Cloud9, though, they want to contest this, and they'll do so. Oh, it's a whiff on the Skywrath Mage ulti. Envy just walks right into the pit. Anskin on the low ground to try and make some space. They'll bring down the Enigma right away. Not a good way for Cloud9 to start this fight. The Aegis, though, it gets snatched by Envy. Oh, turning disastrous for NiP. They're going to struggle to kill Envy once. Can they kill him twice? Skywrath Mage, now the next to go down. Seal Kid will grave himself as Bulldog starts to tighten the noose. Now the Beastmaster falls, and they'll lose the Dazzle. Envy tries to make it out from the snatched Aegis. He's come back to life. Now they're going to chase down Era. He's trying to kite around, but there's just nowhere for him to go. Oh, the Cyclone onto Envy. That saves Era. Now Limp just trying to get out of the burn of the Radiance. Multicast onto Envy. He's got a lot of HP, a lot of low health heroes on the dire side. This could be a disgusting cleanup, but the Delta split from NiP is too much. Envy falls for the second time. He takes one down with him for a wicked 6th streak, but it's the Brewmaster that ends it and gets that sweet, sweet bonus gold. What a fight around the Rosh pit, but no doubt about it, it's NiP coming out way ahead with about a 2,500 net worth gain.
Woo! That's the fight NiP have been kind of struggling to find all game long. It's been Cloud9 just like chipping away, poking around, and kind of having their way with the split push, but finally NiP win a battle in a big way.
Oh, close call, though. Envy walks in, snatches the Aegis just as Rosh is about to go down. That was the only thing that made that fight somewhat even. Towards the end, Envy comes back to full health. NiP has everyone in that danger zone tickering around at that like red HP level, but the heals from Dazzle and a superior split.
Yeah.
Oh my, so well done. Now Jonas in some trouble, but he will BKB as he gets initiated on. Now Big Daddy, is he the one that's actually in trouble? Black Hole used on 2. It'll secure the kill on the Dazzle as well as the Bristleback. A worthy hole from the Enigma will cost him his life, but they trade 1 for 2 here off the backside of that Roche. And where's the gem? Who ends up with it? It looks like it will be recovered by Cloud9. Fata now carrying Seal Kid's gem.
Okay. So NiP just want to kind of wait out some of these respawn timers. They don't want to go chomping away at their buybacks right now. Just the Dazzle brought back that last fight, which is where it was a pretty good exchange for NiP. The Dazzle's kind of where you need to be itemized-wise. Maybe want like a 4-staff or something for some extra mobility, but looking at the big picture here, they want to try and prevent Cloud9 getting any scary right now. You throw like another big item on Fata, on Envy especially, if he manages to get like a Butterfly. I guess you don't want to go Butterfly against the Sniper with an MKB, but even like an Assault Cuirass could be decent for either him or Fata at this point, and you can tank up a lot better against the Sniper damage.
And speaking of Sniper and his damage, he now has an MKB. Fata in the mid. Whoa!
Didn't get the rolls off.
That was ambitious. Envy, he even reality's in. Wow, he's in deep. That's going to be the egg from the Phoenix. Can they bring it down? No, they actually killed the Sniper. The damage from the Supernova plus the illusions from Envy are enough to end the monster kill streak on Era. What started off as a very aggressive play ends up working out okay for Cloud9. Misery will get chased down by the Bruce split. He will end up dying. That makes it a 2 for 2. But ending that sweet streak on the Sniper may be a bit more advantageous for Cloud9. Envy was in the danger zone, but he made it out in that fight. And actually picks up a double damage on his retreat.
Era's like, I'm going to turn and Mask of Madness down this egg, and then the Spectre Illusions just tore him apart.
Yeah.
With the Desolate attack, he was completely on his own, just getting... I mean, he only had 300 or 400 HP, but those illusions killed him instantly.
Well, now the Ogre has himself the Scepter. So double Fire Blast coming out, something to keep an eye out for in these fights. What does Envy do with this next inventory slot? A lot of gold up. I'm thinking something like a Butterfly at this point could be really nice.
Yeah,
the MKB is already out, but the raw damage is pretty good. You think Heart might be the better choice here? Just tank up?
AC maybe? If Fada's not going for it, what's Fada picked up? He's...
Nothing since the refresher.
Yeah, he's kind of poor now. I think AC is going to be, as far as...
Okay.
Maybe not the best damage-wise, but survivability against the Sniper physical damage. The Bristleback, who's right-clicking hard. Butterfly gives you some armor as well. Butterfly or AC, but I think AC maybe.
Okay. Yeah, the thing about AC, of course MKB counters the evasion, but it still gives you a huge amount of damage, and that's part of the value of that item. And also Bristleback does not have an MKB, and you can't ignore his right clicks. They certainly add up, so still a lot of value to be found with that big piece.
And Jonas can complete that Abyssal Blade fairly soon if he wants to. Actually goes for Boots of Travel, wants that global mobility.
I like that. Running low on inventory slots at this point.
The split push is also causing them problems here. This is like constantly if they try and group up, go mid, Fata's at top, and having a hero who can defend, push out the lane, and then Boots of Travel in is going to help a lot. So you've got that on your Bristleback, and that is all so far. Actually, Sniper also has Boots of Travel now, so they've got two
BOTs on both sides, 2 for C9 and 2 for NiP. A comparable amount of ability to bounce around the map.
Top tower
Sniper, what's he looking at next? That's going to be a Satanic, so going for more sustainability, and now wants to add a little more HP. Usually you'll see a Scotty pop into the inventory of the Sniper, but here Era going for the raw damage early on, and now feeling like he needs some way to tank up. Was that a Scythe just picked up? Yes, it was, and that's going to be Admiral Bulldog who grabs it on the Phoenix. Huge item pickup there. We're talking about his farm, and now it's really paid off. Misery going on a warding expedition, it seems like. Yeah, will end up paying for it with his life, and Dazzle says, yeah, nice ward, bro. I'll put mine down. Dazzle's recovered his gem. It was all for nothing, Misery.
Unfortunate.
That's always tough to see.
Yeah. They've got lots of other ways to find vision here with the Beastmaster on their side, so things are going to that freaky deaky late game stage right now. We've got only a 5k net worth lead. They're going to go in on Limp at bottom. They mana burn him down. He can't get off the split now, and even, I guess it's a 5-second BKB, so it doesn't matter.
Nothing to lose there, but still not ideal. Envy, getting a little bit low, but Big Daddy's there with a hole just on Era. He'll get stunned up. Era BKBs, trots away. Now Big Daddy gets turned around on Fata, wants the Dazzle, but won't find it. Shallow Grave rains on his parade, and Limp deploys a buyback here. Maybe NiP thinking this is their time to strike with Cheese. However, there are both heroes with buyback available. So, not going to end the game off this, but forcing 2 buybacks could be quite valuable.
This is the kind of cute little item Envy's going to be going for. It's the refresher orb.
Okay.
Something I didn't consider. This is always a great... You want this at some point on your Spectre.
I was thinking a next slot item.
Yeah.
So, refresher, though, is amazing on this hero. The double haunt, you pretty much will always have the ability to buy back haunt in unless you really go crazy and just try to double haunt for max damage in a fight, but really lets you put out a lot of damage.
He does give up having buyback for this fight, but he may have to pop the refresher. 50 seconds before he's got a haunt. Fata as well as No-Tail both have buybacks, but there's no black hole available. I think they may have to give up this mid lane even.
Yeah, there is a glyph. Bulldog gets hit by the Abyssal. Sword rains down from the skies, and that's enough to kill him. He will buy back instantly. Enigma and Beastmaster will hold theirs. Glyph is used, and it looks like Cloud9 will be able to hold at least for now. Remember, they did buy back on Limp for this, so forcing the buyback there does level things out. They will get the mid lane of Barracks. Now, NiP retreat. They don't force as many buybacks as perhaps they would have liked, but certainly a victory nonetheless. Now, 50 minutes in, 1 lane of Barracks, not necessarily a deal breaker, but making steps to tighten that noose and make Cloud9's life more and more difficult.
Yep. Probably the right move just to not use the buybacks for Cloud9, but it's still going to put them in a tough spot now. The heroes respawn and also need to farm a bit more, because when they die again, they'll lose more money. So Fata does not have buyback anymore. Enigma no longer has buyback.
They have no buybacks available right
Enigma's
now.
20 gold short, I guess, which is
scary.
Close. But yeah, they're going to smoke up and try and make something happen. 55 seconds till next Roche.
All right, pretty fast Roche respawn there. Whoever wins this fight will probably grab that prize gem. Now we'll see the Haunt to try and initiate here onto NiP. Handskin, the one that gets left behind, but he has a Ghost Scepter. Will use it to try and turn to fight. Seal Kid very low, gets off the shallow grave. Primal Split comes out as well. Are they going to be able to bring down the egg? It looks like they can, but Spectre's already clearing out these supports, has now killed the sniper. Fata will get hit by the Abyssal and brought down by Jonas. It's a 3 for 2 out of the gate. Primal Split still deployed, but about to end. Big Daddy will BKB just to run away.
Jonas
now
hits so hard.
Buyback from the sniper as well. This is a scary time for Cloud9. They've got a couple of buybacks here. Big Daddy will be able to blink to the high ground and live. Now Misery will get chased down by the Brew. Envy, does he die here? Oh, assassinate on the illusion. Oh, no, but now the big bad bristles are coming.
Drop your gem, drop your gem, drop your gem, Envy. He's not going to TP. It's on cooldown.
Dead.
Oh, leaves the gem in the shop, and
they don't even care. They're going to go straight for the base. Now, Envy does have a buyback here. Did he use his refresher that fight? He did. He used the refresher and the second haunt. No buyback on the Phoenix or the Beastmaster.
There will be a black hole, though, in 5 seconds. So they want to defend this top lane. They can do so with a Spectre buyback, and I'd say they'd need the Beastmaster respawn as well. So maybe it's not going to be enough time. Without a glyph, this top lane in jeopardy as well.
They can shoot through this so fast. And even if Envy buys back here without a haunt, his damage output is a little bit mitigated. Big Daddy charges in, drops down the Midnight Pulse, but now Jonas BKB Abyssal just goes straight on him. Force Staff to try and make some space, but it's not enough. Sniper gets the kill. Now the buyback from Big Daddy. Envy hanging on to his buyback for now. They will get the melee barracks. Jonas will hang around for the range, but backs out as he sees more reinforcements on the way. They do manage to force the buyback after all. Still no haunt available. Down for 18. A whiffed black hole, number 2, coming out from Big Daddy, and that might have just secured the win for NiP. Now this fight looking rather disastrous as Fata refreshes but gets brought down. It's just Envy, the lone survivor. Him versus 5 to save the base, but now stuck inside of a Cyclone. He does have a Spectral Dagger. His haunt has cooled down, but he gets thunderclapped, he gets crit, he is now in trouble. The Bulldog goes into the Supernova, but that egg will get cracked.
Envy gets 3 off of that. They somehow turned this fight around. That's no buyback on Sniper. I don't know, Envy just pushed R, and magic happened, but
Sniper's dead, Brew's dead. They're both. That's a dieback for both of them. They're still going to try to go for this, though. Jonas very low on HP.
He has buyback, though. So
needs to be so careful here. Envy should be able to kill him. No problemo. Handskin, you're going down as well.
These illusions may just, they'll finish off Handskin.
I think they should. Oh, the
Bristle feels, he can 1v1 Envy, though. With these items, Envy cannot really fight into him until he's got backup. But Skyreth has respawned.
Okay. Still going for this tier 3 tower. NiP sort of all in on this. Not exactly all in, perhaps, but still going in pretty deep.
They don't lose the game, even if Bristle dies back as well, because they can wait out the respawns.
BKB's on. He wants the melee barracks. Can he actually get Megas off this? This is risky, Parker. He's going to try to run for it. Just one structure standing. He's definitely going down here. Yeah, there's no running from this.
That was maybe unnecessary, but...
Yes, but it's not. There's not much that Cloud9 can do here. We see a line on the mini-map.
5-man mid, yeah.
Go mid, boys. That's all we've got. What a chaotic fight. I thought Envy was dead there for sure. I can't believe how much return damage he did.
I think Bulldog came in with like a huge supernova, dive, Shiver's Guard, Hex 1, and that was the big play.
Now here we go. Tier 3 tower in the bottom.
There's going to be a counter racks here. This could have been a huge mistake for NiP. They had double racks, and then they just threw away lives.
Is this actually going to be a lane of barracks, though? They start to clean it up. Oh, now the other BOT's coming. It'll definitely be one lane of barracks. They need to not die here. These were some buybacks from both these players, actually. Henskin will get graved, but does he actually live from this? The laser doing so much damage. There's another heal from Dazzle, but he can't get there in time. It's a dieback for the Ogre now. Sniper as well as the Brewmaster coming up, but they did do a good job making space. The barracks are falling very slowly here. 2 big cores from NiP will be up just in the nick of time, and it will be one lane of barracks in exchange for all those.
And he's got double haunt now. He's also picked up a BKB, which is going to have a double BKB. I don't think Cloud9 want to back off in the sense that they're going to stick around here. They're going to pretend to back off. They're going to fake back with a smoke. Nice little move here. They've got deep ward vision.
So smart.
No black hole just yet, but they can still look to initiate in with a roar.
If they
it's up now. That's what they're waiting for.
Here we go. Limp, he blinks back, though. Great reaction, but it's Era that gets jumped on. There's Envy with the refresher. He will have an ultimate available. Era definitely going down. He's been graved and will fall. The Dazzle guys as well. Cloud9 might have actually just won this game, Parker. No buybacks available on NiP. It's Brewmaster, the lone defender in Primal Split form. It's about to expire. Cloud9 have actually done it in game 1. This was NiP's game to win, and they threw it all away with that bottom lane.
NiP taking April Fool's Day a little too seriously, perhaps. That was just... Whew.
Wow. What a game.
Should not have happened. They had the double racks, uncontested, and then...
They went all in on the Megas.
All in on Envy. Yeah, it was when they had Envy Cyclone. After they took the top racks, they're like, okay, Envy Cyclone, Sniper's TPing in after buying back. Let's kill Envy and win the game, but Envy didn't die. He got off the haunt. He was like 5 seconds short of the haunt, backed off thanks to Bulldog's big play engaging in with the Shiver's Guard and all that, and then suddenly triple kill off of just one haunt. Like, I don't know what happened there. There was just Spectre illusions all over the place doing huge damage, and that was catastrophic.
Yes, absolutely. That is the perfect word for it. That pretty big throw, I think. That was NiP's game to win. So, okay, an explosive series though coming into game number 2. I feel like these teams surprisingly evenly matched.
Yeah.
This anybody's series for the taking. I don't know.
This is what happened in the winner bracket match for NiP. They were up against ASUS.Polar. All 3 games they had like 10k gold leads. They managed to win one of them, but the other 2 they struggle in the late game. It feels a lot of the time. They're such a good early to mid game team, but sometimes their late game plays and decision making lets them down.
Yep. If Jonas had saved that buyback, perhaps defended the base, possibly could have just had a completely different outcome. So, all right, folks, stick around. Game 2 around the corner. We'll see who's going to take it. Will it be Cloud9 or will it be the Ninjas in Pajamas? Stick around to find out.
I was actually one of the first people to sign up on Vulcan.